Hey guys, welcome to our review of Kamen Rider 01, episode 9. Wait, no, we're doing
42.
ReSoulger. No,
Uh,
ReSoulger. I
yeah.
said 01. Hey guys, welcome to our review of Kishiryu Sentai RyuSoulger, episode 42. As always, I'm your host, Frozen Stratos. Here with me today we have
Cinder Blaze.
my dude. Welcome back. We got done watching this episode, so you guys can comment it, and we could reply to those comments today. But before we get to that, we'll get to our thoughts. And I thought this episode was a bit of a letdown. I was hoping for... Wow, this is gonna sound weird. I was really hoping for something not fillery, because it definitely sounded like. And if this was meant to be the curtain call for Wisel, then I feel like it didn't really deliver.
Yeah, like I felt like I wanted this to have more of his flavor to it. I think this episode had a very strong start, and like we're really hyped off of that. Like freaking Ui like going to America because she's been irrelevant. Because she's been irrelevant for like who knows how long in the series, and they're just finally gonna be like, you know what? We really only need your rental space and your father. So bye now. And she was probably busy regardless, like the actress. So I'm glad that they kind of got rid of her.
Yeah.
And then the first like part of Weisel's final act was that whole dance with blue and green.
Yes. And like almost like
did you get Q Ranger flashbacks?
Huh?
Did you get Q Ranger flashbacks from that scene when Tsurugi gonna have that random dance scene out of nowhere? Man.
But like, it was like not. I don't want to say note for note, but like very similar to The Greatest Show. That like the big set piece, the big number, and I just could not believe what I was watching.
Yeah,
because it was just so blatantly lifted from The Greatest Showman, but I kind of loved it.
Was it just for that first part? Because I have no idea what you're referencing.
The Greatest Showman,
yeah. Was it just for the first part, or was it for like the entirety?
Just the song.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was the musical with Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
So that was strange. That was a weird crossing over of two things, two bits of media that I enjoyed that I never would have put together, but it just sort of happened, and I'm happy it did.
Okay, because like I was confused. Like I was thinking of like the same thing, the Hugh Jackman adaptation of the thing, but I didn't know if they like adapted like Romeo and Juliet in the middle of their circus performance or whatever. Because then that would have been like hella weird. I'm like,
no.
Is this all a reference to something? Whatever.
See, and it really would have helped the episode if it were a bit more succinct in what they were trying to do. I loved his plot of puppeteering them into killing themselves, and the sort of antics between the two of them, or between the two teams, like, oh shoot. This is getting really boring. Make him die quicker. Okay, I'll remove bits of the script. Oops! I removed the part where they drank the poison.
Okay, it's really hard for them to not mess up Crayon because that dude is just hilarious. Like,
I know, yeah.
Everything he does.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, the Wisel aspect of this, like, why was Romeo and Juliet like such a big thing? I know it's like probably one of the most famous plays around the world. But I didn't like the whole fixation about it because it didn't feel connected with like the rest of the stuff that they were doing.
Yeah, it was strange, but I don't know. I figured it was just a vehicle to move the plot along, like put them in a dire situation where at the end, and the audience knows at the end where it's supposed to lead, and then after that you subvert. you know.
Yeah,
But like that
but
was the purpose.
yeah, I just felt like a lot of the momentum kind of like died while they were just kind of like fuddling around with that. And then like right when it came to the final fight, like one thing I did appreciate about it was like when Red delivers the final blow and Wisel kind of gets that vision of him winning.
Yeah.
Like that was
And
very
then the
bitter.
episode ended, right? And there was nothing after that. The episode was just over. Crowd cheer. Yeah, the episode ended.
You know, this episode would have been like amazing if they just killed off Red when he first had
for
the
sure.
hot sauce. But like,
yeah.
But I felt like when Crayon kind of like stops him from like actually like killing off Wisel, and he just kind of like stops and just gives him that look. I felt that moment, and I was just like, you know what? He has some good moments to kind of make up for all like the annoying aspects of him. So, like, despite how much I kind of trashed him, I'm like, I really liked him in that scene. Just like, God dang it! Like, we're in like the end game, and I can't kill this dude. I'm out.
Okay, so like, what happened between Crayon saying, "Hey, we should really join up with those RyuSoulgers," to him being like, "Oh, wow, that's a great idea. We should definitely plot against them and kill them."
I don't know. Like, maybe they're faking the death or something.
That's what I'm thinking. But Crayon was so into it, and he would not have to have been acting for anyone in that moment, right?
Well,
as Wisel died.
Like, Red's kind of like on their side right now, you know, because he doesn't want to kill them. So I guess like going into the next fight with Precious or something, it might influence something that would benefit Wisel and Crayon. So
that's another thing. You'd think that if he truly died, like we'd get a reaction scene with what's her name again?
Precious something.
Yeah. You get a scene where she pulls out the card and is like, "Oh, well, there goes his heart. Guess he is done now. Confirmed."
Yeah. I'm not sure if we got that with Gatulus though. Like, we probably did, but I honestly didn't notice.
I feel like we did. I don't know. I didn't care about Gatulus as much as I cared about Wisel. So yeah. All right.
Yeah, it just fell flat at the very end when it's kind of like it's kind of just like wait, especially with how powerful like the whole like Red scene was, and it immediately results in that just like and it ends. It was like,
and you know, I don't want to throw shade at anyone, but like there are Japanese people who, you know, speak English and are on Twitter, and I just saw a tweet that said farewell what was it, Gatulus? Wisel, or like bye Wisel, something that sounded like, oh hey, he's leaving or he's dying, and I'm like, that's not okay that I saw that. Now I'm just going to expect him to die. And then when it was happening, I was like, this is not how this should be. This kind of sucks. Yeah. Anyway, Alex, do you have anything else before we move into the comments?
No, I'm good.
All right, cool. All right, so we got a comment from Double the Unknown. Every time the show gains some sort of momentum with its story, I feel like they ruin it pretty quickly. Remember Nada? I do feel like this is it.
I don't remember Nada.
I do feel like this is it for Wisel, though. I must say that this was a somewhat entertaining way for him to die, even if it was weak narration-wise. The only way I can see him coming back is because the last episode ended with Crayon telling him the RyuSoulgers could help him get his heart back, but this episode acted like the whole setup of Crayon betraying the Druidon didn't exist. Maybe this is all an act and Wisel will come back to life in the finale, or maybe last week's episode was just another example of this show squandering one of the better story elements it's developed. I don't know that I can conclusively say that Wisel's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only thing that's, like, not making me feel like really bad about this episode because it just like they didn't make it as cohesive as they could have. Because like especially off of like what happened last episode, like why not just piggyback right off of that? Like it was a pretty strong jumping off point, and as you kind of like said earlier, felt fillery.
A little, and
like,
normally I like that, but not for something that holds so much weight.
Yeah, like it could still be connected to like the previous episode. They just probably had to do a better job with that, and I hope they kind of connected to that. So
also, I feel like the way they handle and deal with death, at least either this director or writer, like they put an immense weight on death, and there's been a lot of evidence of it because we've had so many suicide plots and
deaths
so there's been a lot of dying in this show, but I don't know, it just, especially with, I don't want to compare it to Nada because he was, you know, someone a little bit, I feel like the audience was supposed to know a little bit more and relate with a bit more, but in comparison to that, we didn't really get such a conclusive, oh, and now he is dead for good, and this one just went like, ooh, ow, I'm hurt now, oh, I turned into a cape, ooh, swirled up into a cape and disappeared. That looked like it sort of happened because he made it. I don't know, man.
Yeah, like that's how it transitions. Like
yeah. That's how he leaves. That's how he leaves a room.
Yeah. So yeah, it's still up in the air for me. So that's why I can't really have like a firm opinion on it.
Okay. All right. You all good? Cool. Guys, thanks for watching. If you like this episode, hit that like button and subscribe. If you want to hear more from us each week, tell us in the comments down below what you thought about our thoughts, about your thoughts. And as always, keep it juicy.
Yep. See ya.
I'm guessing you haven't, but did you watch, did you see the edit I made for the RyuSoulger watch along?
No.
It's toward the should
if
check it out.
works for me, then yes, I will check it out.